So the first thing I do is I've just got the Perspex laid out, and then I've got the frame, the black frame, that just lines up on top of it. And then this is with the permanent marker, and you're just going to carefully draw a frame around the edge of this. Now you can see what we've got in a frame that exactly mirrors the size that we'll be working onto. So wherever we move this around, we're always going to have a frame to guide us to. So now if we swap over to the wipeable marker, okay, just to show you how I'd usually just draw onto it, and then you just wipe it off just with a bit of kitchen roll that's just been, sprayed with a bit of water, just dampened slightly, and then you can wipe it back. So why is this so useful? Well, what you can do with it is you can use this to frame subjects in front of you. So here I've just got a simple jug and a couple of flowers just to show you what you can set up at home to practice using this picture plane. What you do is you use it as a viewfinder to move around until you find a composition that you like. And essentially what you do is you trace the line of the flower and the jug that's underneath here. Because this physically stops you from going any further, you have to draw what's known as one flat plane. When you're lining up your viewfinder, what helps a lot is to shut one eye as if you were looking through a camera lens. And this essentially is what you're trying to emulate. Because when you've got your two eyes looking at a subject, you see in 3D. When you shut one of those eyes, it flattens it off and helps you to see what is three-dimensional in front of you in a 2D form. So now I'm going to do a demo of how I would draw this with the picture plane. So what I'm doing is I'm shutting one eye and then I'm finding one starting point, and I'm trying not to take the pen off of the surface. You can of course move it to move you around, but you're just trying to get a flowing line. And what I'm doing is I'm drawing over the lines, the contour lines of the subject that's underneath. When you're looking at it from a different angle, you'll see what I'm drawing that's completely out, but it's very hard to line up what I'm actually seeing to film it at the same time. This is a really key thing to note about drawing, that the tiniest movement in your head, if you move to the left or the right, you'll notice that the line doesn't suddenly line up anymore. To be able to draw something accurately, you've got to imagine that your head is in a vice, so you just cannot move it. You've just got to concentrate straight ahead on what your subject is. So if you're drawing a view somewhere and you're keep on kind of slightly moving, then you'll have a different perspective every time you look up again at that same view. It's amazing how little room for manoeuvre there is in your sight line. What this really helps to do is to kind of really illustrate to you how you've got to keep in the same position when you're drawing a subject. I'm now going to move back to my position to carry on drawing on top, and when I'm finished I'll show you the line drawing and my viewpoint. If this is your first time holding up a picture plane, it might wobble a bit and it can feel slightly uncomfortable. Just remember, this is just an aid to help you get started. So this is the viewpoint that I'm looking from, more or less, so that you see how I've lined up the line to exactly what I can see underneath it. So now, once you've done a drawing, if when you're doing it, bits go a bit out or you want to change it, then of course, just wipe it off or rub back a part of it. You can use a bit of the damp kitchen roll and, kind of use it like an eraser really, if you've got bits that you just want to neaten up. What is interesting is as soon as you put this line drawing onto white paper, just so you can start to see it, it's amazing how it starts to look three-dimensional. Like this jug really looks like a jug that you could kind of grab up and the flowers could come out, but we've got no shading on it, we've got no strong lighting on it, we've just got line. And this really illustrates what I was saying about how important your line is to give you that idea of 3 dimensions. You don't need everything in terms of shadows and really strong lighting. You just need to get your lines accurately down. So once you've got your line drawing done, all you need to do is line them up exactly how we did the upside down drawing. Just take off the frame, and you can now see why we did the frame with a permanent marker, so you can see the edge to work to. Just draw around the inside of the frame on here with a 3B pencil, and then what you've got to try and do is to copy this line drawing onto your blank piece of paper. You can use exactly the same technique that we did with the upside down drawing. You can cover up part of it and just move a section at a time, just until you start to feel the confidence to try giving it a go with the whole drawing, and then to try and give it a go with the image the right way around. This will be quite a challenging homework, but if this feels too complicated, you can always simplify it by just looking around the house and just using the viewfinder to try and find a very simple shape that you can practice tracing onto to just get a simple line drawing.